YouTube, how the duck you doing? Delfino here, and what I got for you today is my Marvel Rivals Seasons 4 tier list. We got the new Vanguard Angela, who is a little bit of an interesting character. We got some buffs and nerfs to a lot of the characters in the game for Season 4, so definitely shifting up the meta. But regardless, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, so you can let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you're new here or find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed yet, why not? It's completely free and you're coming back anyways. It greatly helps out the channel. Would love to hit 50,000 subscribers. We just hit 20k, which is an amazing milestone. 50k would be even more awesome, but regardless, I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So without further ado, let's talk about our Vanguard section. Now, when I make my tier list, the left to right order does not matter to me whatsoever. If I put a character here, then I put a character on the right, I'm not saying Hela is stronger than Cloak. It doesn't matter. I'm just putting them in the tier list left to right. It doesn't really matter to me, so that's that. So kicking things straight off with our Vanguard section, we have Doctor Strange. Now, Doctor Strange received some insane buffs come Season 4. Yes, they did nerf his HP by a little bit. It's not anything major because he does have the Team Up Anchor bonus, so he still has a pretty high health pool, 675 to be exact. He now has his Maelstrom of Madness E ability on a shorter cooldown, meaning he should never get anti-healed, so I think he's a lot better now. For that being said, I think the character is amazing. I think he's suitable in a lot of different scenarios. One might say he might even be stronger than Magneto, but that's not really the case in my opinion. I think Doctor Strange sits firmly at A. I don't think I see a world. This character could be S as well. I think AS is perfectly fine in my opinion. I think Doctor Strange is definitely a very solid main tank now. You can definitely play double shield, whether it's a Doctor Strange Magneto. You could throw Emma into the mix as well. This character would be S in my opinion if Emma Frost did not exist in this video game. But unfortunately, Emma Frost is in this video game and she's pretty much getting picked every single game because the character is insanely broken still. So for that reason, he sits at A. If Emma Frost wasn't in the game, definitely S potential. Now let's talk about Hulk. Hulk is in that same category. I think Hulk is insane. He is a high skill ceiling character. He takes a lot of practice, and when Hulk players are very good at the game, they definitely make a major impact. When you look at players like Trust Me, you look at players like Spark Chief, high elo players, pro players, as a matter of fact, they're insane on this character. This character has a lot of options. I think the team up with Namor is also insane, the Gamma Squid. With that being said, I feel like a lot of the Vanguards are sitting in the A category except for a couple. I think I want to put Hulk in the middle right now, but I really feel like he can be A potential. But I just feel like the current meta with the characters and duelists we're playing, it's harder for him to really do much. But I think he is a very good character. I could even put him A, but I just want to put him for B right now. I'll mix and match at the very end. Moving on from Hulk, we come to Magneto. I think Magneto is still an S tier character. He did not receive any changes come Season 4, which was a little bit of a surprise to myself. I think this character definitely needs a nerf in terms of his damage of his primary and secondary attack. Yes, he's a necessary evil for this game in my personal opinion. I think his kit is very good for the game, very healthy for the game, but they definitely need to nerf his primary and secondary damage. A tank should not be one-shotting, 275 HP heroes from medium range. It doesn't really make sense. But then again, you look at Emma Frost, you're like, huh. But this character is still amazing in my opinion. He doesn't really going to be moving anywhere anytime soon for the time being until they actually adjust his damage numbers. Then moving straight from Magneto, we come to Thor. Now, Thor did receive some buffs come Season 4, but I think this character is still absolutely trash. Unfortunately, I think he's a very cool character. Right, I need one more tier list. Add a roll. Sorry, technical difficulties. I think he's a very cool character. He's a very unique character, but because he doesn't have a main shield, he's a little bit complex, right? Can't really buff him too much, otherwise the character would be more of a DPS than a Vanguard. Again, he's more of a selfish Vanguard in my opinion. Yes, he has some peeling abilities with his shift to push people around, But he's selfish in the matter of fact because he doesn't have a main shield like Emma Frost. She has a shield that she can shield for her team. Doctor Strange can shield. Then you have, Hulk can bubble, Magneto can shield, and so on. It's kind of in the same realm of Angela. Doesn't have a shield to shield his teammates. I don't think the meta suits him too well, even with the recent buffs. I think he sits at a firm D in my personal opinion. Moving on to Groot. Groot did not receive any changes come Season 4, but we do have the nice team up with Mantis. I think Mantis is insanely good right now. I think Mantis might be like one of the best healers in the entire game currently. For that fact, it's hard to put Groot anywhere in terms of like BA. Split between BA and my personal opinion. He's very good. He still synergizes really well. I think he's really good at breaking goats, breaking line of sight. I think he's just a good all-around hero in my personal opinion. Very solid hero. I think playing against a very good Groot is super annoying, but you have to keep in mind that a character like Wolverine, Punisher, Winter Soldier all exist in the game, making a Groot's life a living nightmare. For that, I think I put him in B. I would love to put him higher, but again, I'll probably mix and match him at the end. Now, after Groot, we come to Penny. Now, Penny is one of those characters that I think there's only a select few of individuals that actually play Penny to a super high level. I think Penny can be an extremely good character. They need to rework her ultimate, even though they did give her buffs in Season 4. They just need to make the ult different or just heavily improve it. I think there's certain situations where playing Penny is extremely good, don't get me wrong. She has a super high win rate, but the alternative is that she has a super low pick rate. Not a lot of people play Penny at super high elo. With that being said, I think she sits D, but there is potential for this character, so don't get super frustrated or anything. The character is still very good. I think it requires certain scenarios for this character to truly shine, but because of that, we're putting her D tier in my personal opinion. Now, Captain America. I think Captain America is still extremely good. He's definitely one of those characters that still excels very well, especially with the Psylocke Captain America dive. It's a slightly nerfed Psylocke, although it didn't really do anything to the kill thresholds or the cutoffs or the crit points, whatever you want to call it. Cap is still very good stall. Yes, the 5% damage decrease from the anchor removal doesn't really do anything in my opinion. I think the character is still fantastic. So I think we'd be sitting Captain America A tier. I think this tier list is looking pretty solid right now. So after Captain America, we come Venom. Now, I think Venom is a very good character. Don't get me wrong. I think this character is insane. I think if played properly in a more structured team environment, if you're playing a scrim or if you're playing as 6, the character can be absolutely insane. But he's another one of those characters that you could say for everything that he needs certain bans for the character to shine. Whether you're banning a Punisher, Wolverine, any of the characters that are going to mark him and stay on him is going to be ideal. That being said, I've seen a lot of Venom players succeed in this game. I struggled to determine if this character should be A or B, but I think for right now, I'm going to put Venom on the B tier. I still think he's a very solid pick if you want to learn a new Vanguard. Very solid pick. So after Venom, we come to the Thong, or the Thing, if you want to say that. Now, this character is good, but he's only good in super certain situations. Whether you're dealing with dive and you need that last resort, you pick the Thing. If you're playing goats and you're trying to hold them at the spawn on convoy maps, then you can play Thing because he gets his ult extremely fast. He can peel for the team's backline extremely fast as well. I don't think the character is amazing right now. He definitely needs some love. I think the meta doesn't suit him as well either. There's a lot of flyers in the game. Yes, he does have the new jump ability where you can jump to the enemies in the air and knock them down. But if you're doing that, it's kind of risky in my opinion. So I think I put him in C. I think he's better than Thor and Penny, but I don't think he's as good as these 3. So I think putting him in between is perfectly fine in my opinion. Then we come to Emma Frost. This character got some nerfs. The character is still like the best Vanguard in the entire game, in my opinion. The character is still super insane. I kind of wish they didn't add this character to the game because the character is too good. So at this point, like, they should just remove it, but that's my own personal opinion. But the character is insane. Now, Angela, the new Vanguard, the new flying Vanguard. I thought this character was going to be amazing. There is some niche tech for this character you can do to make a huge impact. However, the cons weigh out the pros, unfortunately. She gets shut down by pretty much every single character in the game. Even Invisible Woman absolutely counters Angela, unfortunately. Makes Angela's life a living nightmare. That being said, I think she has potential to do a lot as a Vanguard. Don't get me wrong. She can do a lot. I think they need to buff her health first of all. I think coming in at 550 didn't really make sense in my opinion. It should be 600 at least. But that's my own personal opinion. She is a niche pick. I think there is potential with this character with different types of tactics and tips and tricks you can do with this character. There is a world where this character can be good. But I think right now, she is just not in the best place. There's too many characters that shut her down currently. So I think putting her D tier on par with these is fine in my opinion. I would love to put her higher up, but I think D is okay. But anyways, that has been the Vanguard section of the tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I might mix and match at the very last minutes of the video, probably change some things up, but for right now, this is what it's looking at. Let me know again in the comments what you think. So moving on to our Duelist section, just to reiterate, when I place stuff on the tier list, left to right order does not matter to me. I just paste them into the tier list. If a character is S, the character is S in my opinion. Left to right doesn't matter. I'm not saying Magneto is better than Emma. I'm not saying Strange is better than Cap. I'm not saying Hulk is better than Groot, and so on. Just so you get it so people don't get confused in the comments. And if they're confused in the comments, well, that means they didn't watch the video fully, so that's on them. But anyways, the DPS or Duelist section, let's talk about Black Panther. Black Panther received some nerfs. Some pretty major nerfs in my opinion. The character... If they want to nerf the character, I don't think... Not changing his health was not the right option in my opinion. Leaving him at 300 was fine. They can't change the damage numbers, because if they change the damage numbers, they basically make this character horrible. The character is super unique, so I think doing changes is so hard. If they really just wanted to change the character, in my personal opinion, they would have to do a full rework if they actually wanted to make the character a viable option to be able to balance accordingly. But because the character is so unique, I know why they're not doing the rework route and just nerfing him. A lot of people complain, so that's how it is. But because so many people complained, he's definitely looking at the D tier, in my personal opinion, for right now. Emma is such a high priority pick. Triple Strategist is a high priority comp we're seeing in both in ranked play and pro play in high elo. So he kind of is on the suffering end of that now. So I think putting him in D tier, unfortunately, even though I have a blast playing him sometimes, he's sitting on the D tier for season 4 at least. But anyways, Black Widow. So Black Widow is a niche character. Very few people pick her, and very few people that pick her play her extremely well. I think the character is insanely strong. I think she is insane. She's an amazing anti-dive. Duck, how's a sniper a great anti-dive character? Well, Black Widow, if you're getting dived, all you have to do is kick the diver, and you get an insta headshot after you kick them because you can instantly shoot now. I don't think people understand how strong that actually is. You kick them, you headshot them, you put the diver to 1 HP, and then you just melee them, and then you don't have to worry about the diver again. You just keep doing that on a repeat. The only way to truly counter a Black Widow is literally just going Venom and diving onto them. I think this character is low-key. This is going to sound crazy. I think this character low-key is like the best character in the entire game, because her kit literally has everything. but nobody just knows how to play her right. There's only a few players like Zelik, for example, so Shadow Zelik, that actually knows how to play this character extremely well. But because the character is such a niche pick, not a lot of people play her to the full potential. I think she sits on D, but she is extremely good in my opinion. So don't get me wrong. Moving on to Hawkeye. Hawkeye, in my opinion, I've always loved this character. The character's cool. It's going to sound crazy. I like the one-shot ability. Look, people are going to hate me for that. I think it's cool. Definitely does take some skill, in my opinion. Some skill. Not a lot of skill. Some skill. You just have to get at 100 charge and aim in the general direction of where the enemy is. And you can get some pretty easy headshots. However, the character struggles. Even though he does have the ability to, counter dive with his shift, the crescent blade, knock enemies away, the double jump. After that, the character is pretty useless. Other characters outshine this hero. For example, Phoenix, Hela, Black Widow, for example, also outshine this character, to be more specific. Outshine the character. So I don't think the meta currently suits him extremely well. I think putting him F tier for now is fine. Again, I'll probably mix and match at the very end of the video. Putting him F tier now is fine in my opinion. Now moving on to Hela. Now Hela right now for season 4 in the meta is not in a particularly good spot. Because we are playing triple strategist with a Phoenix and double Vanguard. The Hela is not going to be thriving into that meta or that team composition typically. Yes, you could play Hela to get a quick pick on one of these strategists, but typically if the strategists are playing smart enough, they shouldn't be getting picked by the Hela. Phoenix is just insanely broken. She is the best melee character in the entire game, and she's also the best hit scan character in the entire game. Why is that? Not really sure. The character is insane in my opinion. So I think season 4, in terms of the season 4 meta tier list, I think she can be good in ranked, but typically you're going to be playing Phoenix in ranked because Phoenix is usually the better pick in my opinion. I think putting Hela kind of in the C tier, it's kind of crazy to be putting her here, but I think she's just not good right now. B, I'll put her B in the middle. Fine. I'll put her B for now. But I don't think she's anywhere as insane as she once was because of the meta. Now, Iron Fist. I'm actually going to knock Hela down here. Iron Fist, even though he got some nerfs, I think he is good in terms of dive compositions. I think synergizing with the Captain America, synergizing with the Hulk, the Venom, you can synergize extremely well with those characters if you're playing a specific dive comp. When you look at ranked, only a few players are extremely good with Iron Fist and ranked. The character does get shut down a lot. I think I'll put him B for right now. I might mix and match some of these. B is okay for my opinion. Iron Man. Iron Man is not good in my opinion right now. I think putting him like F tier is fine. The character used to be insane. He was always a high priority pick in high elo, ranked, pro play. The character was extremely good. With the recent changes to his E ability, the armor overdrive, the removal of gamma have all definitely hurt this character a ton. So definitely on the lower end now. Now moving on to Magic. Magic got some insane changes come season 4. Look, people can say, oh, she got nerfed or whatever. Yes, she got a slight nerf, but she did receive some insane changes as well. Her right click now piercing and reducing cooldowns, that's pretty insane. So the fact that pierces means you can one-shot people in your ultimate with the Luna damage boost. So a very good character. Honestly, I think she's like B tier. I think this is a very good spot for her. This is a very brutal tier list that I'm doing, so take it how you will. Now, Moon Knight. Moon Knight is pretty decent in my opinion. I think Moon Knight, the 2 right clicks of the Crescent Moon or the Crescent Blade, very good for the character. I think the character is amazing at dealing or dishing out a ton of damage if you're trying to make goats, which is 3 Vanguards you're facing. Very good pickup. The character is very good, so that is something to consider. Namor. I think Namor is another one of those characters that is very good this season, especially with the Hulk Gamma team up. I've seen a lot of comps where you run Hulk, Namor, or with a Magneto or a Emma Frost, then again like Namor, then 3 Strategists. That's a very good comp in my opinion. So I think we put Namor B tier for right now. I think he sits firmly. He didn't receive any changes come season 4, although he did receive, I think, a small change. I can't remember. But the character is still very good in my opinion. He's an amazing flanker. He's able to one-shot pretty much everybody if he flanks and drops his squid and a right-click. The character is very good. So sitting on the B tier is fine for me. Now Psylocke. Psylocke did receive some changes come season 4. They reduced her right-click retrieval rate. However, the character is still insanely strong in my opinion. I do not think the character is a must pick now or a S tier character. I think she still sits at the A tier. The character is still very good in my opinion. Cap side dive is very good, or side with any other diving Vanguard is still an extremely strong team composition. So definitely something to be looking out for. I think Psylocke's still a very good pick. Definitely something to consider if you're looking to ban. Moving on, we come to Punisher. I still think Punisher is a very good duelist, but you have to have certain things banned. For example, Magneto has to be banned in my opinion for, Punisher to truly shine. I think the character can do an insane amount of burst damage. You see Gale play it all the time. You see it sometimes picked in high elo and ranked. The character can definitely carry, don't get me wrong. Some of the changes to his turret and ultimate definitely did hinder this character a little bit weaker on the side. No longer a SA tier pick in my opinion, but I think he sits in the B tier category. I think he's still a decent pick. Now Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch received some changes. Some buffs. I don't think the character is insane anymore. Wait, I don't think the character has ever been insane. The buffs do make her a little bit more viable, but still don't think it's amazing. I think she sits F tier in my opinion. I mean, there's just better picks out there than Spider-Man. You only pick Spider-Man for very certain scenarios. Touching the point last second, pulling somebody off the map right at the start. For the most part, those are the only reasons why you're picking that. Pretty much every single character counters Spider-Man, especially because people are running triple strategists all the time. Spider-Man pretty much gets little to no value a lot of the time. So I think putting him F tier, FD tier is fine in my opinion. Then Squirrel Girl. So Squirrel Girl is only good on maps like Araco, or maps with super small corridors that you're trying to break, either bunker comps, triple Vanguards, or any types of those comps. Outside of that, I don't think the character is extremely good at all. I think I put her on the D tier in my personal opinion. I think that's fine. Moving on to Storm. I think Storm is good. I always like Storm. I'm a Storm simp. I think the character is good. She's not as good as she once was in season 1.5. She's still decent at trying to break, triple Vanguard setups, trying to play for your team, give more damage to your team, be more of a nuisance, annoying. Jeff Nato's not that good. I think the character still sits at C, unfortunately. I don't think she's not as strong as... I think she's definitely stronger than the D tier characters because she offers more flexibility in comparison to these characters. So I think putting her C tier is fine in my opinion, at least for me. Then moving on to Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier received some pretty insane buffs come season 4. His shift now acts as a displacement grounded ability, which makes no sense in my opinion. For right now, I'm going to put the character like A. I think A is fine. Oh, he skipped one. Star-Lord, sorry. I think Star-Lord is actually very good this season. I think season 4 Star-Lord is very strong. I think he's interchangeable between Psylocke and Star-Lord, so if Psylocke's banned, you just interchange your comp with Star-Lord and keep the high speed, high momentum character. So I think the character is very strong in my opinion. At least for me. Then, Winter Soldier, Wolverine. Wolverine is a good character again. Takes certain situations where the character can truly shine. I think the character, for me personally, sits B tier. I'd rather just play, if I'm going to play Wolverine, I'd rather just play Winter Soldier because he offers more versatility and you don't have to fully commit into going into the enemy team like Wolverine. Whereas Winter Soldier, you hook the enemy out, you knock them into your team. Whereas Wolverine still does the same thing, but you risk yourself going into the enemy team instead of just hooking them out of the enemy team. So there's always a risk reward between the two in my personal opinion. Then moving on to Mr. Fantastic. I don't think Mr. Fantastic is that good. I don't think he's good at all. He's never played in high elo and pro play that much. There's only like 2 people that play him. I think there's a lot of ways to shut down the character. I wish they would make the character a little bit better. They need to do something about this character. I wish they would just make him a Vanguard in general, in my opinion. Yes, people are going to hate me for this. I think he's like bad. I think he's like F tier. But I do think he is a good character. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's as strong as some of these other characters on the tier list. But I do think he is a good character. We might mix and match a little bit later on. But again, Human Torch, this character is still S. Didn't receive any changes come season 4. The character is probably like the best duelist in the entire game. So yeah, the character is still insane. Phoenix didn't receive any changes. Still the best duelist in the entire game with Human Torch, unfortunately. So that's that. Then Blade. Blade received some changes come season 4. He received 2 more damage. Now you might be thinking 2 damage. That's not a lot. Well, I think that 2 damage actually does make an impact because your E ramps up with that 2 damage. So you're alive a little bit longer now. Not a lot, but definitely alive a little bit longer. I think he's better than, the F tier characters in my opinion. So I think putting him D tier is fine, honestly. But anyways, that is the duelist section of this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Again, left to right doesn't matter. And later on, I might be mixing and matching a little bit more, doing final adjustments, explaining my reasoning. But there you have the duelist portion of the video. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. And let's move on to the strategist section. Strategist section time, ladies and gentlemen. We've reached the holy grail. So Adam Warlock is our first strategist to be looking at. So Adam Warlock, I think this character is insane. I love Adam Warlock. I wish he had a little bit more mobility, but I think if he had a little bit more mobility, then it would make the character insanely strong. But I think, again, this character is insane. I think putting him A tier is fine. I don't think there's a world where he drops below A. Especially in organized play in high elo, very solid character. Now, Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger didn't receive any changes come season 4. I think the character is still a very good main strategist, a very good character. I would like to put her, or put them, B tier. I think B tier is okay, for my opinion. Now, Jeff. Jeff received a change, and he also has the Venom team, but I think Jeff is very good. I'm going to put Jeff B tier. Kind of crazy. I think Jeff is very, very good in my opinion. Especially if you're running a triple strategist. You have 2 main strategists in a Jeff, or maybe you're running, let's say, Luna, Adam, Jeff. Sure. Solid comp. Maybe Luna, Loki, Jeff. Very good comp in my opinion. I think Jeff is very good, especially with the buffs to him with his ultimate. So I think putting him in B tier is fine. Now Loki received some changes that I think definitely knocked him down from the S tier. I think Loki's now sitting at the A tier. The character is still very good, don't get me wrong. People might be saying, oh, he got nerfed. It's a major nerf. It's this or that. The reason why Loki is so good, yes, his healing and damage output is insanely strong, but the whole idea is his runes. The runes or his shift ability is what makes the character so strong, or his regeneration domain. That is the part of the ability or his kit that makes the character absolutely insane. Now, I'm not saying this or anything, but if NetEase truly wanted to nerf this character and make other characters viable, instead of nerfing his main healing and damage numbers, what you nerf is his runes. That's what you do. Now, I'm not saying that they should or shouldn't. I'm just saying if they truly wanted to make this character knock down even more and have other strategies viable, that's what you should probably do. To kind of make the character in a pretty bad state so you're forced to play other strategists, that's how you should do it. It sounds like a horrible way to do it, but realistically, that's how they should probably do it. Luna. Luna received a change. 2 less seconds on her ultimate uptime. The character still S in my opinion. I don't care if people think she's A now, she's B, she's whatever. They didn't change anything else. The character is still very good in my opinion. So, that's that. So, after Luna comes Rocket. Rocket Raccoon, I don't think is a good strategist. I think he's actually below Jeff in my opinion. You only play Rocket now if like all other strategists are banned, or if you're playing Goats, which is 3 Vanguards, 3 strategists, and you're trying to stall for time, then you play Rocket, slap down the res beacon, you get a res back, you get your ultimate extremely fast, and that's when you would play Rocket. Outside of that, you don't really play Rocket in my opinion. I mean, some people still play him. I still don't think he's the best, but yeah. So Invis Woman. Invis received some big buffs. And I think Invis is better than Cloak in my opinion. I like Invis a lot. Even though they didn't change Cloak and Dagger at all, she still gets her ult extremely fast. She still has the Terror Cape, which is extremely good. I mean, I could put her A actually. I think putting her A, Cloak and Dagger A, on par with Invis is fine. I think Invis is very good now. I think the buffs definitely make a difference for this character, but you do sacrifice some trank time for Invisible Woman, but you do gain some more, displacement tools with Invisible Woman. So that's that. Mantis. I think Mantis is S tier. I think Mantis is absolutely insane right now. The character enables so much because Triple Strategist is so strong in Season 4. Mantis is the enabler of everything. She gives damage, she gives healing, she gives damage boosts, self-damage, healing, a secondary kind of trank ult. She adds momentum to your team's composition. I think the character is very, very good. Then we come to Ultron. Hot take, I think Ultron is insane as well. I think Ultron is S tier. The character is very good in my opinion. Does a ton of damage for a strategist. Does okay healing. His ultimate is pretty good. You can either use it as defensive or offensive if you wanted to. Typically you go more on the offensive route with his ultimate, but you can use it to save your teammates if need be. He is a very good character in my opinion. He's also a very good triple strategist character. You can see the, kind of area we're looking at. Triple Strategist is king in Season 4, in my opinion. Even in Season 3.5, Triple Strategist was king. But even more so now, especially with some of the changes to Luna, to Loki, you're playing Triple Strategist even more now. So definitely an S tier character in my opinion. In terms of mixing and matching characters of what I want to do, let me do some last second changes. I'm sorry if you hear my fan. I am cooking in Texas. I am cooking like the oven. So last second changes. I'm stupid. I don't know why Iron Fist is B. I think he goes down to D, F tier. Don't think he's good at all. Angela, in my opinion, can actually move up to C. I think she's good on certain maps, but certain characters do have to be banned. I'm actually going to move Namor up to A, and I'm going to move Hela up to B. And I think that does about it. I also moved Hulk to A because I think Hulk is very good. Adam has potential to move up to S, but I think I'll put him S. I think S is fine. Now, this is the complete tier list in my personal opinion. Of course, everything is subject to change as the season goes on, and everything else is always a super early tier list in my personal opinion. From what we saw in season 3.5 to the changes in season 4, it ended developing at the beginning of season 4, the Bogart tournament, what we see in Marvel Rivals Fight Night or Night Shift, whatever you want to call it. But again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new, like the video if you like it, and as always, I hope you have a safe and great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.